Alright, what's up guys? It's K-Rod here. I'm back with another boxing video. Um, I'm going to talk about Devin Haney offering to fight Gary Russell Jr. And I guess I will give my thoughts on it. And yeah, let's go. Alright, so Devin Haney, he's a really good fighter. He had offered to, I guess, fight Gary Russell Jr. for at least $1.5 million. And Gary Russell Jr. said no, he does not want to take the fight. Which I had seen a video of him, I guess, posted on Instagram or YouTube. And he said that he would fight Devin Haney if there was another $1.5 million added to the table. But with business being so hard in boxing, I don't think that would probably happen. But if another $1.5 million is added to the table, then it seems pretty possible. And I think Devin Haney could definitely take that fight if it's possible to be made. What are my thoughts on it? I think Devin Haney should probably proceed with this fight. This would be a really big win on his record. And I don't think Gary Russell would have too much to lose anyway, because Gary Russell, I've never really been impressed by him, but his boxing competition has really been like either low to mid tier, and he hasn't really been in with a really tough fighter, other than Lomachenko that beat the living crap out of him. And I think honestly, if Gary was a little bit more aggressive in the fight, he definitely would have been a lot more deadlier with his punches on Lomachenko, making Lomachenko like a very easy fight to go through. But in reference to, I guess, the severity of trying to make a fight with Leo Santa Cruz, Leo Santa Cruz seems to keep avoiding Gary Russell, and no other fighter would really want to go into the ring with him, which I understand his credibility. He's a very well-intentioned boxer, but on top of that, is Gary Russell like gonna move up 4 weight divisions to fight Terrence Crawford? I don't think so. But if Devin Haney, who's 21 or 22, I think he's 21. Yeah, he is 21. But if he is offering to fight you for $1.5 million, which is not a bad deal, considering that Devin Haney would get a good payday out of this. I would take the fight because it would actually bump up his stock. But on top of that, Gary Russell could either probably move up one more weight division or 2 weight divisions, or honestly, he could just probably just like retire. I don't even know. Honestly, like Gary Russell doesn't really seem to be the type of fighter to actually be like super duper good on a good day. And then it's really weird because he only fights like once or twice a year, which is really just, pathetic in my opinion, because, like, you're supposed to be the champion. You're not supposed to be like the, like I fight whenever the fuck I want type of person, and not actually take fights that actually mean something. And I just think with what Gary Russell does, he doesn't really have too much of a interest to do that, other than like, okay, I'm just gonna go in, do my thing, and then just walk out. No, it doesn't work like that. And Gary Russell definitely has a tendency to, back things off whenever the opportunity is given. And I don't think he really cares about that, or he either uses it as an excuse to not fight people that are hungry to fight him. But I don't know. It's just so weird because I never really expected Devin Haney to actually come out of his way to, want to fight Gary Russell Jr. And I think it's good because, Devin Haney, I think he fights at 130, right? 130 something. Yeah, either 130, 135, somewhere around there. Or actually, no. I think Devin fights at 135. Hold on. Yeah, let me just double check that. Devin Haney. Yeah, weight class. Yeah, lightweight. So 130. Yep, 130 pounds. Oh no, actually no, he fights at 135. My apologies. But yeah, Gary Russell could definitely catch weight that for 135, or he could move up to 135 and then fight him. I think Shakur would be a good test for Gary too. That would be a good fight to see in the future. And that's I think that's where it has to be anyway. So it would be just like it would be nice to see that type of fight be made. But I think at this point for Gary Russell's career, like it just comes to my knowledge to see that Gary Russell, wants to fight Lomachenko, and he doesn't want to waste any time fighting guys that are not at his level. And I can respect that as a champion, but if you're being active and you're not doing anything with that active, prime fitness, then what's the point of being a boxer? Like, I thought boxers are supposed to fight, not just wait for a fight. You need to take a fight. You need to show who you are. You can't just be waiting like what guys like Terrence Crawford is doing just to get the Errol Spence fight, for example, and just say, okay, now fight me, and I'm gonna knock you out. Like, no, that's just not how boxing works. You gotta actually take fights where that you could beat the number 2 or number 5 guy on the list, but it'd be good enough to show that your championship caliber is ready for the other champion. And yes, like I understand for maybe any of you Gary Russell fans that would probably come into my comments, kind of like what Tyson Fury fans do, to say oh well, you don't know anything about boxing. Gary Russell, he's a good champion. He be going out knocking people out, and he's a high quality fighter. He don't need to fight Devin Haney. He needs to be going after Lomachenko, Leo Santa Cruz, and all those guys. Which and honestly, if I was in Gary Russell's position, I would probably go after Tank first, and then Leo, and then after that, beat the crap out of, well, no, not beat the crap out of, but take on Shakur Stevenson, and then fight Devin Haney, and maybe Ryan Garcia. That would be a good campaign for Gary. I would actually like to see that. Have him fight all those guys, and that just be a slugfest. That would be insane matches. But I don't think Gary really wants that. He wants guys that are super top tier champions, people that don't mess around in the ring, and I could definitely respect that out of him. I think Devin, he's a super tier champion. Even though people say he's not really the champion because Gervonta Davis gave up his WBC title to I guess move up a weight, which I'm not too sure if that's true, or I think it's because he didn't make weight and then he lost his title, and then he had a huge layoff. So I'm not really too sure what Tank is really doing, but honestly, if Gary Russell were to fight Devin Haney, he should definitely fight him anyway, even though the money issue is pretty bad due to all this coronavirus BS. But No, I think Devin Haney should definitely fight Gary Russell. It would definitely give Devin Haney a huge experience booster from a guy that has championship experience and would give Devin Haney a real test to show who is the best fighter at 135 or like whatever division that people are going for. I don't know, but I think Devin Haney, he would definitely give Gary Russell the work. He has reach. He has youth on his side. Devin Haney, he does have good power when it comes to his signature punches, but I just think like with the amount of work that Devin Haney is putting into the gym, I don't think Gary Russell would ever top that. I think honestly, fights are really determined by how well you train, not by like how well you fight. I would say that from a objective point of view, but I'm pretty sure for people that actually are boxers or people who do train inside the gym, it's probably how well you fight, stylistically, and how you execute your moves and opportunities when you're in the ring. So I mean, like, I'm not brand new to boxing. Like I've trained in the gym with other fighters, and I myself have sparred with other people, so I have been developing myself, and I used to do taekwondo, so I know a thing or two about fighting. Plus I used to wrestle too, so everything mentally and physically, I'm constantly learning. But nah, man, I'm just a huge boxing fan. And even though that this is particularly a gaming channel and I put out sports videos, I like to give out the content for what y'all want to hear. And we just sit down and just talk ideas, honestly. All right, so let me know what you do. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Devin Haney should fight Gary Russell Jr., or should Gary Russell turn down the fight offer, fight high-tier opponents, and I guess move on from there? All right, we'll see y'all later. Peace out. Bye.